Hey, we're here again. Glad to have you with me. We got another project here that is to replace the regular fluorescent lights with these LED lights. And they're really lightweight per. Cost about the same as a fluorescent bulb, about $15 a piece because I bought 10 of them. They have wires where you can hook one to the other. On the advertisement on the website, they said that you could hook as many as 6 together. But then on the instructions, it said don't do more than 3, otherwise it'll burn the bulbs out. So we're going to do 3, and we'll run wire through the ceiling, and we'll take out the light fixtures. Or I might just leave the old light fixtures, and that way I could, the owner wouldn't be all frustrated if I left and took the new ones. But he might not like it that, you know, that I change them. You know, the owner though is a real nice guy, but he wants me to be happy. So this is a place I rent, and it's a collectibles shop. So I do all the improvements and make it better. Usually I tell him, and I did tell him that I was going to do this, and so it's all my expense. The unusual renter who fixes things and makes them better. So he's probably going to save us a chunk of money, probably $30 a month, $40 a month in electricity, I would guess. Might not be that much, but I think it will. 20, 30. So they'll probably pay for themselves in about 3 months. And then reliability, I don't want to change the bulbs. Anyway, these are links that hook one to the other. Why don't you show them what they look like together? They come with a kit to plug in, and they have these clips. Evidently, that's these clips here, which I don't have fingernails. I don't want fingernails. I bet that one hooks one directly into the other.
That's what they were saying to use.
And these are the clips you fasten
to
hold it in place, either on the ceiling, which will give you some anchors, or on this case we're doing ceiling grid.
Did you ever tell a story why these lights were turning off?
Those lights were turning off?
With the records?
Oh man, that's embarrassing. Yeah, there's a perfect example of me being imperfect. We had a problem up here. Couldn't figure out why the lights wouldn't work on this side. And so I got my electrical tools out, and I checked the breakers in the back, took the cover off, checked the breakers. The breaker was working. Came over, opened up the first light fixture, tore it apart, took the wires apart in there, and it's got no voltage to it. So I figured between the breaker panel in here, we got a problem. So I went to a connection all the way over to this one, and we had no power. Oh, we had power. So I was like, okay, hold on. It goes over to a junction box over here. And there was a junction box, took it apart, no power. All right. Or I had power on one side, but I wasn't getting power to the lights. Then I followed, say there's a wire going over here. It goes down over here to this switch. The switch right here, all these little covers, these are just covers, no records in them, were rubbing on it. And the switch was holding it off. So my dummy, I've been here 5 years, never knew that switch was there. It was painted black, same as the post. I've done all kind of work around it, never knew it was there. So yes, I can make mistakes. But anyway, these are all just covers, no records in them. So they were leaning on that light switch. Caused me grief. So anyway, I turned the light switch on. I had problems. No more. But as you look up there, you'll see that there's a ballast or two that have went out already, and it's getting dark over there. So we're gonna probably take those down and put these others in their place. So what I'll probably do is go ahead and fasten these
Just straight up to it.
on the man, I should get my
Your laser pointer.
This is a ceiling grid. I'll fasten it to those and take the other down. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so we'll do that. I'll probably have to take all those little action figures down, maybe move them to the other side. You got our work cut out for us. And it hooks up with the one coming from here, so it's getting power to something else, neutral to something else. And this, it goes down and comes back down black, hot, and comes back up white. Okay, so this is your constant hot. This is your switched hot. And so hopefully I won't. It's got an old wire nut. The others are not even wired. They're what you call Buchanan clips, which is from the 60s. And before that, they soldered them together. Yeah, they did put the Buchanan clips on now. Okay. So we're going to have to turn the power off. I have to cut those off, re-strip them, and then hook up the wire to it. All right, so we'll shut the power off to it. Okay. Make you sweat bullets. You test it, make sure.
Yeah, well, I took the multimeter to it. 0 volts.
I'm just telling people that are out there, always test, never trust, always make sure. Been shocked too many times and lived long enough to tell about it. It's got those old clips on it. About ready to cut it. It's not coming off, so I'm
Does it need to come out?
straighten them out a bit. There's one stripped. What I'm doing is taking that lineman pliers and take it, spin it around. I have wire strippers. And then pulling the insulation off. Act like they're melted on now. cut my own finger. That's melted on. May have to get a knife and cut that. This particular building was opened in 1914. They did not have electricity then. They had electricity in the bigger cities, I think in the 20s or 30s, but they were dangerous because in the big cities they were using DC current. Didn't know very much about what they were doing. So anyway, about the 40s, everybody ended up, middle 40s, late 40s, everybody started getting electricity. This was probably in the 50s, 40s, 50s. But the first use for this particular building, it was used as a place to sign up for the draft 1914, and that was for World War I. So that would be a long time ago.
Mate, that's over 100 years old.
So the line was the brown.
The line is brown, yeah.
So they're going to go
Blue
to
is neutral, and yellow and green is earth.
earth, which would be ground.
I would assume earth is ground. What if we don't live in earth?
Maybe they just, yeah, we could be aliens, yeah.
Finish that show, fella.
And there is no earth to hook up to. This is before they had grounds. So we're not going to have a ground. Unless we were to try to rewire the whole panel.
Couldn't you ground to the box?
There's no ground on that box. Or earth on that box. Okay.
Now we test the plug-in.
I can put that on the box, but that won't do nothing. There's no ground to the box, so.
But we want to ground through the screws. No.
There's no, it doesn't go to earth, which is what grounds and neutrals eventually go to. Actually, they're the same, go to the same place when you look in the panel. I'll have to show everybody that sometime.
It doesn't make you feel safe. You gotta ground.
Yeah. Well, it's an added feature. Safety features, they used to tell me when I was young and asking all the... There is a straight side, and then there's a side that kind of leans out. Let's get one of those clips and show people what we're talking about. If you notice, this one here's kind of goes straight, maybe even in a little bit, and the other one kind of leans out. I'm putting all of them on one side the same. But my assumption is that you put it in this side and snap it in on this side. We'll find out. Yeah.
Why are we putting it up against the
And
fixture?
the fixture being on for a little bit got kind of warm, but again, I want the owner to have the choice. So I will leave his light fixtures there, and besides the fact that it leaves them with a wire inside there so I can hook up these light fixtures. And but it's also, I won't have anything getting hot. So here we go. We got two clips in, got the wire run over. Let me get one more clip in, we'll clip a light fixture in. Let's see how that does. We're using a self-tapping wafer head screw. You don't have to. You have to use whatever screw you need for the situation. Might have to use anchors or something. Gotta watch out I don't get metal shavings in my eyes. I was beginning to wonder if it was actually gonna let me do it. All right, I'm gonna move back over there, put it in. Both sides look the same.
You need me on a ladder?
The one in the middle is kind of hard to get to.
It's angled.
I see light. You got them all changed. They're kind of a nuisance with the clips. They're cheap. They couldn't make these things. The clips any cheaper than they did. We literally had to take them and squeeze them in to get them to hold the light. So, I mean, you might keep that in mind, but they're easy to work with. Very small wires. And so that means they're not going to use that much electricity. Or they'll burn those wires in half. But there you go. LED lights cost about $15 a piece. Ta-da!